This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is a Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are covering the six-man rankings for the 2018-2019 season, continuing our series. Next week, we do have coaches, and I think that's it, right? Or do we do...
No, we do the teams.
We do the teams, too.
We got 2 weeks after this.
So we got 2 more weeks after this, and then we'll jump back into regular news. But starting off the podcast, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast because you can be like our first guest. Jake is back on the podcast for the 10th straight month?
I think it's 11.
Is
I
it
think 11.
Yeah, no, October, I think, is the 12th.
Oh, snap.
We gotta have a birthday party in here.
It's going to be a good time,
Because
everybody.
the first podcast was the Laker one. We
Yeah.
talked about the Clippers and the Lakers.
We talked about Lonzo, that he dropped double the next game.
This kid sucks. Drops a triple-double.
I mean, to be
times.
fair, Pepe did put the clamps on him.
He did, and that was why we talked about Pepe, and then Pepe got injured the next game. But anyways, we're going to be talking with Jake some hot takes for the 2018-2019 season. We're all going to give some hot takes, and we're going to have to defend them. So there is no just saying that's the way I feel, that's how I feel. I just think that you need to bring some evidence. You need to bring
gusto.
you need some backbone to your argument. So Jake, since you brought the topic to us, do you want to start first, or do you want to pick who starts first?
No, we got to go. I think we have to go to Ricky first. We have to.
So we'll do Ricky, Dave, we'll do you, and then we'll end on me, because I think mine will end on me because I have one that ties into last week's topic and a discussion, more of a fight that you and I have been having on Twitter. But Ricky, we'll start with you.
I mean, the only thing that I could, when I knew, okay, this is what we were going to talk about, the thing I am going to go with is that it's kind of a one hot take, but it's got 2 parts to it. Part A is that Giannis will never win a title with the Bucks, where it's like whoop-de-doo, how much of a hot take is that? But even more so, 2021, when his contract is up, he's going to be leaving. Okay. He will leave Milwaukee a la KD did around the same age.
Real quick, I'm really glad you understood the topic. It's hot takes for the 2018-2019 season, buddy.
Well, I mean, never going to win the Bucks aren't going.
That's more than one season. So the Bucks aren't going to win the season.
The Bucks are not going to be anything this year. They're
What
going to be.
does that mean?
They're going to be
Are you saying the Bucks are missing the playoffs?
They're going to be not missing the playoffs, but they're going to be like a bottom feeder losing the first round. Because most people think, they're going to do something this year. Giannis and that team are not going to do anything besides making the playoffs in the weak East, and not even that is anything special.
Ricky, I think you need to add up some spice on that shit. It is not hot enough of a take. Everybody's got the Bucks in the playoffs. You can't just say that they'll lose in the first round.
The thing, too, is, they've lost the past 2 years in the first round. So it's just something
but this is different. They got Budenholzer. They got Giannis. They're going to bring it back together. And it's like, no, they're not going to do anything.
But also,
they're the Bucks.
It's a first-year coach with a new team.
Yeah, but it's everyone's like, it's Budenholzer. He's going to do... no, the hype on the Bucks is way too real. They lose Jabari Parker. Giannis is going to be good. But this Bucks team... I would say if LeBron was still in the East and the East was a little tougher, I would say, they'll miss the playoffs. But it's like the East, it's like half the teams can wake up and probably make the playoffs this year.
So do you
That's
have
how
them,
easy it's going to be.
Do you have them finishing 8th or something?
Yeah, probably 6 through 8. They'll be 6 through 8. They'll be a road team, and then they'll lose in the first round.
So, how hot do you think that is, Jake? What we'll do is after every single one, I want to get a hot level from 1 to 10. How hot was that in your mind? How hot of a take?
I thought it was okay him saying that they were going to win in the first round, but when he said 6 through 8, I say he at a 10 he probably hit like a 6. That's I think me personally, I think they're going to lose to Indiana in the first round as the 5 seed, but I just think 6 through 8 might be a little bit bad. I think Giannis will be top 5 in MVP. Was he top 5 in MVP voting last year?
No, I don't think he was.
No, if he was. I think he'll be top 5. That's not my hot take, but I think he'll be top 5 in MVP voting this year. And I think they'll put up a fight, but I think Indiana's just too good, and they'll fall to the 4 seed, and they're better than a 4 seed most years.
Voting last year, Giannis was 6. It went Harden, LeBron, AD, Dame, Russ, and then Giannis at 6. So, Ricky, you started us off with I'll say a mild to a hot take. I think 5 would probably be mild. Anything above would be hot.
this is a little confusion for me coming into it. I thought we were just doing hot takes in general. If you want to go with another one, if I can double dip a little bit, this one might be a little bit more, a little hot, a little bit more spicy.
Okay.
Guaranteed Lakers will be in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
Year one with LeBron.
Okay,
That is-
and there we go.
That's the Ricky we expected.
But why?
There it was.
Well, it's to me. First off,
Why are they
LeBron-
the second best team in the
First
West?
off, LeBron James, like you go ahead and add him to any team, he'll if he willed that Cavalier team to a top seed in the East, he can will this Laker team with way better talent into the playoffs. I see them right now probably being a 3 or 4 in the West, and then they'll win their first round game. They'll win their second round game. The second round one will be a little bit tougher because they'll probably have to play the Warriors or the Rockets, depending on if they're a 3 or a 4, and they will beat whoever they play in that second round game to play then the Rockets or the Warriors in the Western
We're hitting
Conference
Fuego
Finals.
levels of hot takes here.
Okay, so how are they better than the Cavs were last year?
Because you look at that team, they've got Lonzo Ball is better than half the people on that Cavaliers team. Kuzma,
Was he better than George
Rondo.
Hill? I mean, I understand that Lonzo has more potential as a number 2 pick, but George Hill's still a solid player.
I would say that this team, Luke Walton to me, is a better coach than Ty Lue was. Because really, what was
TBD?
No. What was our joke with the Cavaliers? That Ty Lue wasn't the coach. LeBron was the coach. You can make
You
the
don't
same
think he's
thing
going to
here.
override Luke Walton?
I mean, there's a little bit. The only thing that's a little different in the Lakers case is Magic Johnson. Like, there's actual GM, there's actual ownership that LeBron trusts. Like, Dan Gilbert, it was like, whatever, LeBron runs the show. I hate the guy, but hey, he brings my team into the finals. Like, there was this distrust. There's more trust between LeBron and the ownership. That means LeBron's going to work better with the coach, with Luke Walton. And then all the talent, Lonzo, Kuzma, Rondo, Stevenson, Be Easy. I like what they have with the Lakers. Even JaVale McGee, who I kind of agree with people who were saying he was a little underranked in our rankings, and I kind of had him a little underranked in our rankings as well. They're going to be a better team than the Cavs were. That's no shocker, but they're going to make the Western Conference Finals because of LeBron and Rondo coaching up Lonzo Ball, Lance Stevenson being that enforcer in the playoffs. All the guys, Rondo, Be Easy, Stevenson, they're going to make their dividends in the playoffs being enforcers, being tough guys for this team.
Be Easy, a tough guy. I love it.
It's hot.
No, like, okay. So,
I mean, Kevin Love is by far the best player out of any of those players. And then also...
the rest of it,
100%.
I lean Lakers.
I don't know. I mean, is TT better, like clearly better than JaVale McGee? I don't know if he's clearly better.
I'd
So
say,
that's a
I'd say
push.
at worst, it's a push.
That's a push. Then I think the Lakers are younger, but also there was more homogeny on that Cleveland team that works better with LeBron, where we
don't know if it works
where
better
the
with
Lakers went
LeBron.
to the discount barging bin and picked up these free agents
But I
and just
mean,
threw them
Yeah,
together.
but they picked up the guys LeBron wanted.
Rodney Hood or B.I.
Okay,
Like,
but you're also talking about LeBron trusting ownership and being able to work with
mean,
everyone there.
it's a
but then
50
also they're still caving into all of LeBron's demands,
it's a
signing the guys
50-50
he
street.
wanted.
Like, Jake, put your earmuffs on. When LeBron was talking to the 76ers, no. He went, like, Magic Johnson went to his house to basically have a 2-hour, what are we going to do because you know you're going to sign with us kind of a meeting. So it was a 50-50, hey, we're going to get the guys that you want because that's why LeBron was going to go somewhere. If he had the power to bring in the guys he wanted, and he did, and I like the veterans that they brought in. Mainly Rondo and Stevenson are the two that I think they're going to play dividends. And I am really excited. Really what I'm thinking Western Conference Finals is I want Lakers-Warriors because I want to see the Lakers try to bully up the Warriors and kind of prove to where it's like, hey, is this Warrior team soft? Or can they then man up and go to the Lakers who are adding some tough guys?
You want to jump in, Jake?
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you.
I love
I don't know. I'll start with. I think the Lakers are going to be the 6th seed, and I think they're going to have a first-round exit to the Utah Jazz, to the runner-up of the Rookie of the Year this year, Donovan Mitchell.
Well, the
Not
true
Rookie of the Year rookie. Thank
throwing
you.
some shade.
No. I think my hot take kind of has to do with LeBron, but I won't say it yet. But I think the team is very young, and they have a lot of really good talent, but none of it's proven. None of it's played in the playoffs before. Luke Walton hasn't coached a game in the playoffs yet, and the only experience he had in high-pressure games was really when he coached the Warriors, and he had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson at his disposal.
But now he's got
don't
LeBron.
think that. Yeah, great. He's got LeBron, but he's also going to have to mold. They're all going to have to mold the young talent. Are you going to start? It's so weird because Rondo always plays so well in the playoffs.
Yep.
So are you going to start Rondo in the playoffs? Because kind of, if the dude's putting up numbers like he was last year, are you going to put Lonzo off the bench and start Rondo?
Yes. Yes, you are, Jake. You're right in that feeling.
Yeah, everybody knows I love Lonzo and I love the Lakers, but it's just I just don't see this team at all. I don't think that they would beat the Houston Rockets even close. I think the only team they could match up as a lower seed and beat in the first round would be the Thunder potentially, but I don't think they wouldn't beat the Rockets. They wouldn't beat the Warriors, and I don't think they'd beat Utah.
But it's a hot take, and that's what this segment's all about.
True.
Let's move to Dave. Dave, give me your hot take for the 2018-2019 season.
My hot take is that the Memphis Grizzlies return to playoff prominence, dragging their old and broken ass in.
Yes.
Huh.
Who?
Yeah. Yeah. G League looking team.
I'm being serious.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
Bringing their G League looking ass in to the playoffs.
Why is that?
I think that the reemergence of a talented point guard makes the world of difference. You get a healthy Mike Conley out there. I know he's the nearly all-star. He's the nearly, top guy. But, him being on this team is a huge swing. They've done it pretty good this offseason. I don't want to give them too much credit, but they've done pretty good to rebuild this team. Adding in Slomo, who I think we're going to see a lot out of this year. I think Kyle Anderson's one of those guys who, from an efficiency standpoint, from an advanced stat point, is someone people love, but getting him really unleashed and letting him kind of run. I want to see him run the offense a little bit. I'm curious to see what he can do outside of the system that was the San Antonio Spurs. I love their first round pick in Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he is an instant contributor. I think he plays at a high level. He's a smart kid, and his shot is just going to sink it. I think they're a tough team, and I think they're still going to have the talent to go right back to the playoffs. I know the West is tough. I know they're stacked. I know everyone's counting teams out, but I'm looking at that pack in the middle, and I'm going, you're gonna fall.
Well, and the pack in the middle is something that I understand because you look at how tight that was. It makes sense that teams are going to fall out.
3 through 8 was 2 games,
and also you add in the Lakers. Obviously they're going to be a competitor, and they're going to fight. And the Nuggets, who were just outside of the playoffs, they're going to fight for a spot. Also you got to look at that second unit. You're led by Andrew Harrison and JaMychal Green. Those are playoff competitors.
Oh, we're feeling it. This is hot takes, buddy. Hot takes.
Is Chandler Parsons also going to come back to form?
Returns to what form? Which year? We're going to pick 2014.
Whatever year he was healthy.
Well, I think 2014 was that one year he popped off with the Rockets.
Did he play over 50 games?
I don't know, and I'm not going to look it up. That's
Has
how
he
much
ever
I
played
care
over
about
50
that
games?
hot take.
Anyways, Jake, on 1 to 10, how spicy was it?
I love it. So I'm gonna say a 10, but I love it. I actually agree with him.
What?
I agree with you. I think they drafted the most NBA ready prospect in the draft in Triple J. I think last year was just a blip on the radar. I think you get Mike Conley back, and I think everybody said there's so many teams that could fall out of the playoffs. The 3 seed was 2 or 3 games out of not being in the playoffs last year.
Everything was really tight. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Go Grizzlies.
Go Grizz.
I think it's right in that range of that shouldn't be a thing, but it could happen.
We have a lot of Grizzly fans, and I think our boy Austin, I think that's the guy who was DMing me on Twitter. He was talking, pretty positive about his Grizzlies.
I'm still rooting for them to be to be moved and become the Seattle SuperSonics.
Jesus Christ,
the new Spurs.
We were trying to bring back our Grizzlies because we constantly crap on the Grizzlies. I constantly yell at their GM.
But can we just admit that they're the obvious choice to become the next Seattle SuperSonics? Unless there's expansion.
Charlotte?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Charlotte, maybe?
Jordan, Brooklyn's too new.
No,
plus
they're
it's
not
in the New
moving
York
Brooklyn.
area. And I know. I backtracked
Jordan.
as soon as they said it.
Milwaukee?
You're gonna piss off a
come
lot of
on.
people
What?
No,
I just talked about how they're trash.
That's true. I don't know. I'm just in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Well,
Phoenix to be.
Well, Z gonna come at you.
If anything,
yeah, I was gonna say.
and Memphis fans will get mad at me for this. If anything, if the Grizzlies are going to move, I want them to go back to Vancouver. That's
No
what
one
I
wants
want.
to see
I want the
basketball.
Vancouver
Canada
Grizzlies,
basketball.
the
Nobody
old
wants
jerseys, and I want Greg Ostertag to be there.
No, the only reason why Toronto works is because it's right over the border. Vancouver
It's the most
is so
American city
far
in Canada.
out. It's a long trip, and it's going to be bad for
What about
for
Montreal?
travels.
Can we get a
They're
Montreal
French,
NBA team?
and they hate America.
But Seattle is
They
the
hate Canada,
the prime.
too.
They're French.
But also, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Jake, you ready for your hot take? Or do you want to go last?
Yeah. No, I can go.
Okay.
On. All right. I don't know how exactly hot this is. We'll see. Ben Simmons won Rookie of the Year. Is that an option?
Yes.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I believe. Where do you think it's going? What do you think?
Jake was making a joke and already brought up LeBron. That was a hint.
Just go ahead,
Yeah.
Jake. Go ahead.
Yeah. This will be the first season since 2005, 2006 that LeBron James will not finish inside the top 5 in MVP voting.
Oh.
I don't think earning the 6th seed will not grant you any closer to an MVP. I think Giannis moves in to one of the slots. I just don't think. And you were just talking about, Ricky, how much talent they have. If they have so much talent, then they should be in the playoffs if they have the best player in the NBA. It shouldn't be that he should have already won a lot more MVPs than he did. It's kind of the same thing.
It's Jordan
that happened back
syndrome.
with Jordan.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. They should have won more. And I just don't think earning the 6th seed in the West, and then obviously the playoffs don't matter, but they're probably going to get eliminated in the first round. I don't think it earns them an MVP this year, or even top 5.
See, I'm a little upset, and I know how Sean would usually ask you the spiciness of it. I'm going to go at a little bit of a 5 on the spiciness meter.
No
because
way.
No. Because I thought you were going to go bold, Jake. I thought you were going to go, you know what? I am going to let my fandom take over. I thought you were going to say that Ben Simmons wins the MVP this year. That's what I thought you were leading up to. Is it really that stupid? I mean, it's not going to happen, but that's what I thought he was going to go with.
I thought he was going to go 76ers championship.
Mm-hmm.
That was my Jake hot take.
No, I'm not that dumb. Come on.
Oh, he knows the Celtics are a team.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I can't wait till Kyrie has his 6 knee surgery in the last 3 years. Great.
Better than 2-point Ben.
2-point Ben.
Or 1-point Ben, was that it?
1-point Ben.
Yeah, you got to get the burn right at least. He put up. Okay, hold up. We're gonna talk to this for a second. Because I had a discussion with somebody on Twitter about this. Because people on Twitter love to put the meme where it's Wilt Chamberlain and it has 1 on it and Ben Simmons' face on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's great that the man averaged 16, 8, and 7 in the playoffs, and that people like to focus on one game. You know, it's fun. It's fun, you know. And also, he did win Rookie of the Year, Ricky, if you didn't know that.
Well, I mean, he wasn't a true rookie.
Okay, fuck off.
Okay.
Fuck off. I'm so sick of that joke. I get it. He's a second. He was drafted 2 years ago. Oh my God.
It's not even a joke.
It's not even you. It's not even you. It's everybody. Everybody needs to shut up about that joke.
But it's not a
so
joke.
bad.
I'm being dead serious.
No,
he technically wasn't a rookie.
Oh my, yes, he was.
No,
a rookie is defined as the first year of playing. No,
but technically
you're wrong.
he was in the NBA for 2 years, so technically wasn't a rookie.
He did not play a game.
But
in
I know by the rules he was a rookie.
Done.
I get it.
We're done.
The mic is getting
It's not a joke. Like, I'm dead serious.
Hold on, Jake. This is for you. This is for Ricky. This is for Dave. This is for any future patron. This is for any future guest. If you are on this podcast and you bring up the fact that Ben Simmons wasn't actually a rookie, you are either going to get hung up on or you are going to get thrown out of the room.
You're not going to get hung up on. I'll veto that. I'll call you right back. That would just be mean to a patron.
That
would just be mean.
I'm first off, I'm setting up the rules, and I said I'm hanging up on you. I didn't say I wasn't going to call you back, but you're getting hung up.
I respect that. I think it's worth it.
This is my dojo.
I love that
This
rule.
is my dojo.
I mean, I'm not even saying it as a
You know
joke.
what?
I'm
We're
dead
good.
serious.
We're good.
Jake, I'll give
We're
you
good. We're back on good
like
terms.
I will
a
say
5
though,
on spicy though.
No, I think this is extremely hot.
Really?
Okay, 2005, 2006. Let's put this in perspective.
Yeah.
I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old. I am 21 years old. I can legally drink alcohol
That's
right
happy
now.
birthday, Sean.
That was not 10 years ago. That
Belated.
was literally
Jesus, we were
that was
sophomores.
13 years ago.
In high school.
LeBron James was
Man.
did not finish in the top 5. He hasn't finished. He hasn't
dunked
finished
in high school.
Can you talk? He hasn't finished outside the top 3 since 2007, 2008. That's extremely hot. That the best player in the league is not going to be in the top 5 of voting. And also, I mean, we could argue probably the past 3 years he probably should have ended up actually winning it. I mean, maybe outside of Steph's
100%.
2015, 2016.
I mean, triple-double.
100%.
You got to take away from the triple-double, or you take away from James Harden, who for 3 years missed out on being...
I agree with the James Harden thing, but also with the triple-double thing. You voted for James Harden over Russell Westbrook.
This year, not
No,
last
last
year.
year.
No,
Last year
last
did.
year I thought I voted for the triple-double. Ricky was the one who was making the point about
For
the
what?
assists, I think.
No,
You're
you
talking
were,
about the rankings
Yeah,
last
but
year?
why
no,
did we-
last year for MVP, you went with LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want LeBron.
I think you were going hard.
I don't know. We'll have to dig up the tapes. We'll put Ricky on that one.
Would you want to jump on with Jake, though?
Didn't Russ average a triple-double this year?
He did.
Win MVP?
Well, yeah,
so
it wasn't
why didn't he win it this year?
It wasn't the new hot thing. It wasn't new.
You did it before. It's less impressive now.
Oscar did it before, too, so why was it impressive when Russ did it?
Well, because it was like 40 years between.
Because that's how the writers work. The writers go, ooh, look at that. And then you do it again. It's like, whatever. You already did it.
That's just my point, though. Like,
yeah.
Great, he averaged triple-double.
It's still impressive.
Still shouldn't have won MVP.
But,
still shouldn't have won MVP.
It's also LeBron. I mean, he's still going to be the best player in the NBA, whether they only the 6th seed or whatever. I mean, if he puts up, 28-7-7 again, or 27-7-7,
he'll never do it.
He's still in a game, but he's done it over his career.
I know.
I mean, he could still end up.
That would be a great hot take. LeBron finally has a game of 27-7-7.
Jump in, Jake.
The odds are there.
I was just looking at who I think is going to jump into the top 5, and I think DeMar DeRozan is going to jump into the top 5 this year. I think he's going to have a great year in San Antonio.
That's a double hot.
He was 8th this year, and now he gets straight to a better team with a better coach. I think he's going to jump into the top 5.
A better team is questionable.
Oh,
better coach,
I'll take it. Last year without their best player, so I mean, in the West.
You mean you've been singing the Spurs praises?
I have been, but they also lost all of their veteran leadership on that team. No Tony Parker.
Yeah, but they also got
no Manu Ginobili.
But they got Paul Gasol.
They got Marco Bellinelli. That's all that matters.
Oh, my
He's
God.
going to be hitting off-balance half-court shots.
Oh, my God.
Real quick, though, with the DeRozan thing, also, Kawhi didn't play last year. So you got to assume that Kawhi is going to jump up at least and possibly overtake DeMar because he's the better player.
Unless he has a bad year.
And also, maybe.
Well, okay, so, and Embiid was 12 last year. He's going to be number 1 because he's going to win MVP. So
there you go.
That's going to
and
be,
Ben's
that's
2.
going to be one person. Yeah, I think
Markelle 3.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we all know the GOAT
Brett Brown
is coming in at number 4.
TJ McConnell just can't be in any awards because it's not fair to everybody else. It's just not fair. And, dude, okay, hold on. Side note, I saw trade rumors for TJ McConnell, and I would literally cry if we traded TJ McConnell. I would trade if Markelle Fultz comes out this year and doesn't perform like a starting caliber player that he should be, you should trade him before
He's
you
a
trade
starting
TJ
shooting guard by
There's your hot take.
mid-season.
Hold on. Here, Jake. Tomorrow morning, you get a call from your boy, your boy Brett Brown, right? And he calls you and says, Jake, you're a diehard Sixer fan. You're the number 1 Sixer fan. I need your help, and whatever you say will go. Do we trade Markelle Fultz or do we trade TJ McConnell? Who are you trading?
I said no. You misheard me.
I'm giving you a hypothetical.
I keep both. I don't trade either. You don't trade your 2 best players.
I believe that if it was Colangelo calling.
What if you were trading?
He was from one with burners.
Now here's another hypothetical. What if you were trading Markelle Fultz for TJ McConnell, or vice versa?
You know what? I wouldn't make the decision because I'm not in the Sixers front office because we don't have a GM.
But you could be. You could be the GM because there is no GM right now.
Hey.
Maybe they can do a Patreon for their GM where it's like, if you want to get in on this.
We vote. It's a straw poll. Everybody votes on the trade.
You put $10 into the pot and you get a vote each month.
You get a percentage towards GM.
Hey, Jake, final thoughts on your hot take.
Beautiful.
I think, like I said, I think there's just a lot of. I don't even know, to be honest. I just don't think LeBron's going to finish top 5. My other hot take was going to be the fact that I think the Indiana Pacers are going to beat the Boston Celtics in the second round.
Ooh.
That's
a hot take.
I called that. I said they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You didn't say over the Boston Celtics.
No, but I said that.
You probably said over the Sixers, like you disrespect them every week.
You can't talk. You can't say anything. The 7. Whatever, Jake. Everything's disrespectful with the 76ers.
Yeah, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, one finished 12th at MVP voting.
Well, thank you for that great segment because now we are going to get into my hot take. And here's the thing. I did some research like Jake did on LeBron's finishes in the MVP because I got to see, when was the last time LeBron really wasn't relevant in the MVP voting. Last time he finished lower than third was 2007, 2008. I don't think that is going to change. So I think he's going to be in the top 3 somewhere. I also think that Anthony Davis, I'm not making this pick yet, but I think Anthony Davis will for sure be in the top 3 because he's going to probably take New Orleans to a 4th seed, and DeMarcus won't be there for that full season. It's going to be all on AD, and AD is getting better. He's only 24.
Team,
What?
No, go ahead.
I'm saying he's not on that team anymore. Like, for a full season.
That's what I thought.
Last year, AD took a rise because DeMarcus was gone. AD started balling out. Now the focus will be solely on AD again, and this will be a good team. It's not going to be like previous years where the team sucked, but AD was great. Team's going to be good. is going to be good. So I think those two are going to finish in the top 3. What can James Harden do to get him, back in the top 3? I mean, he can have the same season over again, but that team's gotten worse. I don't think they're going to be the number 1 team in the Western Conference, and that was a big reason why he won MVP last year. Because you look at the prior years, 3 years, arguably he could have been MVP before then. He wasn't the best team in the Western Conference. I don't think he's going to be the best team in the Western Conference this year. And I think Westbrook has an argument. I think Giannis has an argument. I think probably KD and Steph will, but they're probably going to split it anyways. I think Kawhi will probably most likely have an argument as well. But I think one man will slip in there, and it will because of his team's performance in the Western Conference. A team that will finish 3rd in the Western Conference behind the Golden State Warriors, and I will say the Houston Rockets. It is Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic last year averaged 20. You said hot takes, brother. Last year, per 36, Jokic, he only played 32 minutes per game last year, averaged, this is per 36 though, 20.4 points per game, 11.8 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 49, 39, and 85 from the field. I think Jokic can get that up to, with more minutes, 22 points per game, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 50, 40, and 85. Only 19, if Jokic does this, 19 players have done that in the NBA. It's something that is, first off, historical. It is ridiculous. And players before have won the MVP off that. Bird twice, Dirk before, and KD, I think, as well. Steve Nash also twice as well. I think that if he goes out, proves that the Denver Nuggets are for real, they finish 3rd in the Western Conference, and Jokic is by far the clear leader, Nikola Jokic will finish in the top 3 of NBA MVP voting next year.
I'm at a loss for words because Jokic.
You're forgetting about one name though when it comes to the MVP award, who wasn't in it last year because he was injured.
I said his name.
He mentioned Kawhi.
That to me, that would be the main reason why Jokic is nowhere near the MVP finalists, is because I think that if anything, the finalists will probably be like AD, Kawhi, LeBron, or like James Harden, Kawhi, LeBron, or any one of those players, not Nikola Jokic.
And I think it's going to be AD, LeBron, and Jokic, because I think that DeRozan, this is something that, again, Toronto has done everything before. Toronto has finished first in the Eastern Conference, and maybe I don't think they're going to finish first in the Eastern Conference this year. You look at Boston. Boston doesn't have a for sure MVP candidate, because will it be Gordon Hayward? Will it be Jason Tatum? Will it be Jaylen Brown? Will it be obviously Kyrie Irving? We don't know. There's so many helpful, even Al Horford. There's so many guys that do so much on that Boston team. I think that takes it out. Toronto's not going to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. What does Kawhi need to do? 27-7-7? Well, guess what? LeBron's probably doing that as well. Defensively as well. But also, I think AD is going to have a better stat line. He's going to be better defensively. I think AD is probably going to go after Defensive Player of the Year and was a top 3 finisher last year. Kawhi's probably going to have some struggles in there. I don't think Kawhi's going to finish top 3. I don't think Russ is, because although Russ is still a great player, we showed last year he can have a historic season. He can go for a triple-double throughout a season, and it doesn't matter. Maybe he has a great finish. Maybe they finish second in the Western Conference and he pushes a name up, but I don't think so. Kevin Durant and Steph really can't separate themselves in this discussion. You look at a guy like Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard will probably have to go absolutely bonkers to win the MVP. I don't think that's going to happen as well. And maybe Giannis is the guy that I'm overlooking here. But again, you're talking about this team struggling and just doing what they've done for the past 3 years. How is that MVP worthy? Is he the most valuable player probably to any team throughout the NBA? Possibly, because you could probably take off James Harden. They still have Chris Paul. You could take off LeBron James. They're still a terrible team. Well, I mean, you can't really take LeBron James off any team, but you take off Anthony Davis, maybe him. But I mean, honestly, who's most important to their market and their team? Giannis is probably top 3. But I think Jokic is going to have a fantastic season. I think the Nuggets are going to have a fantastic season. I think people are high on him already. And when he has a game with 20 assists, when he has a game going 30, 20, and 15 or whatever, he's going to be up there because he's going to be massively efficient. He's going to be one of the best offenses in the league, and people are going to be surprised that Denver is this good.
I don't understand how they're going to finish 3rd, though. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, that's the part.
How could they not?
Because they don't play defense. They may score a lot of points. They may play at an incredibly quick pace, but I don't believe that they play enough defense to win enough close games. I've got my concerns. Look, I love the young talent. I think their shooting is phenomenal. They've done a great job building around a unique talent in Jokic. But at my core, I look at the team and I think they're going to give up 115 a night, And yeah, they're gonna score a lot, but more times than not, it's just gonna come down to no. And I will give you playoffs, but a third overall seed is just look at the differentials.
See, my thing is, I think that when it comes to the playoffs, that's where they'll be screwed. But in the regular season, when you're going up against bad teams, when you're going up against teams, on back-to-backs, you can win those games. You can win enough. And also, you talk about the differential. They finished, a 1.5 point differential last year. You look at Portland Trailblazers; they had a 2.6 point differential. We see that teams get hot. If teams get hot, they can rise up all the way to 3. Portland had a massive rise and rose all the way to 3. Yeah. I mean, you can have nights where you're great. I think that this team can put up 110, and also I think this team's going to put up more than 110 tonight. And I also think they're going to probably end up lowering their points per game last year because yes, you lost Wilson Chandler, but everyone else on that team got better, and you're getting Paul Millsap better, who is arguably your best defender, and he's going to be healthy. So that's something that's going to be boost that are going to help you win closer games because you're going to have a guy like Paul Millsap who's out there. I think you're going to have a guy out there in Nikola Jokic who's underrated defensively. He's not great. I never said he was great last week, but I think he's underrated defensively. That's different. And also I think guys like Gary Harris will probably benefit from a guy like Paul Millsap and Jokic being out there. I think this is a team that can honestly finish third because we looked last year that you needed 50 wins. 50 wins to finish third. You would have gotten it. I think going from 46 to 50 is absolutely doable, especially when Jokic gets more minutes and is more efficient.
Out of all the hot takes tonight, I don't even have enough numbers to tell you how hot this take is. And the reason why I say that is just go back in the MVP. I'm going to go back all the way until LeBron won it his first time in 2009. 2018. The Rockets finished with the best record in the West. Russell Westbrook, 2017. They were 6th best. Let's put that one off to the side. I'm going to thumbtack it. We'll come back. Yep. The Warriors, when Curry won it, first and first.
Also historic.
Kevin Durant was the second best team in the West. You had LeBron with the Heat, best team both years in the East. Derrick Rose, number 1 seed in the East. LeBron, both of his times, number 1 in the conference. The only guy who wasn't a top 3 team, top 2 team, was the guy who averaged a triple-double for the first time since Oscar Robertson.
Okay, here's my counter-argument to that. Again, we talked about the number 1 team in the Western Conference. That's Golden State. They have 2 MVP candidates, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. It's going to be hard for them to separate from one another. And to be a top 3. They're both better. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying he's the 3rd best player in the NBA. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he can be seen as the 3rd most valuable player by voters to his team by their performance. And again, you're talking about this. I don't think that KD and Steph will be able to separate themselves because it's hard to have a most valuable player on that team, especially with Boogie coming back with Draymond.
Warriors. No, I'm not even mentioning anyone on the Warriors. I'm trying
to say, again, if we're talking about the finishing, it's tough to see that, again, the best team in the West, it's tough to find a most valuable player. You look at Houston, some people might argue that it was Chris Paul with the way that Warriors team ended up finishing last year, or the Rockets Warriors series ended up finishing it. It's still clearly Harden. I'm saying some could argue. It's still clearly Harden, but what will Harden need to do to top it? It's tough to go back-to-back from years. Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double in back-to-back years. He didn't do it. When was the last time someone's repeated? It was Steph Curry, and Steph Curry was on the Warriors that people did not expect to come out of nowhere in 2014, and then he topped it in 2015 and was absolutely the best player.
Most improved player award that year.
He was the best player back-to-back years.
Steph and LeBron are the only ones to repeat since 2009.
And we're talking about LeBron. Jake's saying he's not even going to finish in the top 5, and yes, that's a nuclear hot take, or it's at least a hot take. And I think that, again, there are some merits to LeBron possibly not finishing number 1 overall, but I even have him in my top 3. So I have LeBron in my top 3, and I think Harden is going to fall out because, again, he's going to be tough to top your performance. Even if he has the same exact season, it's not going to be anything special. It's not anything new. Yes, some people are going to even argue last year that he wasn't the best player. Some people are still going to say it was LeBron James last year. Some people are still going to say it was Kevin Durant last year. It was Steph Curry. It's not the best player award. It is, how did you help your team? Were you a team that exceeded expectations? Were you a guy that still was the best player on your team? I think Jokic is the best player on his team. They're going to exceed expectations, and he's going to have a fantastic year, going 50 from the field, 40 from 3, 85 from the line, and averaging 8 assists per game as a center.
One last thing, and this is the only thing that I feel like, and this also goes against Anthony Davis too, and why the deck is kind of stacked against him. The last big to win the award was Dirk in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was 2002, 2003 with Timmy D. The last center to win the award, Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. I feel like, and this is even with Anthony Davis, why I feel like he'll always be good enough to be a finalist but never be voted as an MVP is because of where the league is now, and they will always go with a 1, a 2, or a 3 over a 4 or a 5.
But if you're the best player that year and the most valuable to your team, and you can be the MVP, and I think that
it's whatever the sports writers think that year, and I don't think they'll ever look at a 4 or a 5 in a positive light.
I
disagree. I think it can be done, but my thing is, have we ever seen a player come so far out of left field in a voting standpoint to jump from off of the ballot, basically, to being in the top 3? And I think that's the biggest question for me is sports writers, there's a large spread of personalities, opinions, and like, thank God basketball isn't like baseball where you've got the old school, they'll always do their thing because that's their rules of the game bullshit.
And if you do what Lebatard did and give your vote to the fans, I'll take it away.
Right. So like on that fact, NBA, there's a better chance for this to happen, but I still don't know the precedence for a player coming out of literally nowhere from a voting standpoint to being a top 3 player.
Here's my thing, and then we'll bring Jake back and let him jump on. The last year, I think the 2 players that were new to the ballot were Joel Embiid and Victor Oladipo, finishing 12th and 13th. Victor Oladipo obviously was most improved player, was absolutely fantastic last year, both offensively and defensively. Embiid was a guy that was clearly spectacular, both on and off the floor. Was a helpful component to that Philly team, but Philly also was not a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference and a team that was viewed as weak, a conference that was viewed as weak. My bad. A conference that was viewed as weak. Victor Oladipo, same thing. They were a top 3 team, and again in a conference that was viewed as weak. I don't have off the top of my head a guy coming out of nowhere. Maybe Isaiah Thomas last year, the year prior, finishing 5th.
Yeah.
And that was a team that gave LeBron hell. He was absolutely fantastic. Came out, balled out, and was top 5.
That's still 5. Not 3.
No, that's fair. I'm just trying. I don't have it off the top of my head, so I'm throwing out guys that are going back.
Yep.
But that's my argument. And Jake, jump on.
I agree with you. I actually, as much as I've been hating on Jokic the last couple of days, looking at you said this to make sure the hot take was that he could finish top 3, not that he would win the award, right?
Yeah. Oh God, no, he's not winning the award. My pick's Anthony Davis. I don't want to spoil, but it's Anthony. I think it's gonna be Anthony Davis, LeBron, and then Jokic.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that just because you guys were talking about the seeds and how I think nobody's won unless they're the 1 seed in a couple of years. And you look at 3rd place last year with Anthony Davis, they were the 6th seed, and you look at Damian Lillard, he was number 4 in MVP voting last year, and they were the 3 seed, I believe. So it's possible. I think talking about players who could come out of nowhere, not really nowhere, but if Donovan Mitchell can make the jump to maybe 25, 26 points per game, and they finish where I think they will in that 3 seed, then you could maybe see his name come up in the top 5. And I think Joel Embiid's going to win, so I think he's going to be number 1. But I think Nikola Jokic, he's an interesting player. Last week on the podcast, you kind of were talking about how he doesn't get enough respect. Now, I'd have to agree to a point. I think the team could make the jump to the playoffs. I don't think they would make the jump to the 3 seed. I just don't think they're better than San Antonio, Utah, or Oklahoma City to jump into that top 6. I just think even if he would, if they would do well, he's almost in such a weird market in Denver that they've almost never gotten love. I mean, I don't know if he would ever finish in top 3, even if they got the 3 seed. I don't think that he would finish top 3 in MVP voting just because where he plays, and they would just basically call it. It's like it'd be almost like the Spurs curse. They would just call it team basketball instead of giving him the credit that he would deserve.
No, and I thank you for bringing that point up because that was probably the biggest downside. And in my logic of thinking this out, that was the biggest downside that I thought was I don't think a lot of people will be seeing Jokic playing, especially being in Mountain Time, being a West Coast team, playing mostly West Coast teams. The biggest thing that he'll need to do is when he goes up against the Warriors, when he goes up against the Rockets, when he goes up against the Spurs, when he's up against these primetime teams, he's going out and he's playing great. When he's going up against Anthony Davis, he's going out and he's playing great. He can't shrivel in those big moments. And I think if he doesn't shrivel in those big moments, that is going to put him in the top 3. And Dave, I have your answer. 2013, 2014, the first time a player appeared on an MVP ballot. Blake Griffin finished third as a 24-year-old. The Clippers went 57-52 that year. Blake averaged.
Was he coming off of an injury?
No, he was not. He played 80 games the year
Would not
prior.
be shocked.
But 2013-2014 played 80 games, 52 from the floor, 27 from three, 71 from the line, 24 points. 9.5 rebounds and 3.9 assists. So I'm saying that Jokic is going to shoot better.
Yep.
He's going to score less. He's going to rebound more, and he's going to dish out more assists. And he's going to be more efficient from the field. And yes, they're not going to be number one seed in the Western Conference, but also I talked about the Western Conference that there isn't a clear most valuable player on the Warriors, and James Harden is going to have to do a lot to again jump over that mark. Who is the guy? Then again, in the third seed team. It's got to be. I see it as Jokic, and I think they're going to be able to win 50 games this year, and that was the mark last year. 49 wins for Portland last year as a 3 seed. I think they can get to 50 this year. They were at 46 last year. I think taking a team from the playoff.
I think the West got vastly better, and
I think the Nuggets got better.
Well, tanking is less valuable this year because the rules have changed for the 1 through 3.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
It also doesn't make the teams better.
I think all the teams have gotten better.
No, but I'm saying that doesn't make do you think that Phoenix is drastically that much better? That they're not tanking? That they're not tanking?
Yes.
No, I don't think they're drastically that much better.
I think they're drastically better. I think they've added
drastically that much better.
A lot of talent. I think both those teams added a lot of talent.
I think the Nuggets again are getting Millsap fully healthy. I think
who's
that this
the
team is
who
getting
lost
older.
Talent is my question.
San
in the
Antonio.
West. They're adding in an all-star and a top 10 MVP player.
They also lost an MVP
who didn't play.
You were first up 20 minutes ago. You were shitting on the Spurs.
I just was saying that
what happened about the veteran leadership, buddy?
They lost Manu, Tony Parker, and what's his face? No, Slow-Mo. Yeah. I mean, Kawhi didn't. I know Kawhi played a handful of games, but
Kyle Anderson.
I'm for all effective purposes not counting that
he
as
didn't
playing.
play last year.
So adding in DeRozan, yes, they're still going to be a good team.
Did the Clippers get better?
I can't touch the Clippers.
Did the Kings get that much better?
Kings got better. I'd say the Clippers are the ones.
Did the Kings get
worse?
30 wins better?
But remember, we're giving away wins here, and now I'm taking a couple of those back.
But I also think that this is a team that also defended home court very well. 31-10, which is I think probably fourth best record last year. They couldn't win at least away games. 15-26 last year. I think that's going to be better because these guys are getting older. They're getting used to playing in the NBA. They're going to be able to go into away games and sneak more out.
True. Rookies do struggle on the road, or younger players struggle.
This team's getting older. I understand that they didn't add much back, but they are getting older and they are getting more wise.
Acquisition in the draft is a kid who probably won't play.
Okay, but
I'm just saying,
again, the biggest thing isn't about they also lost Wilson Chandler, but I'm saying again, the biggest gain for them is just another year of production.
Okay,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I think this is why this is a hot take. I agree. That's a hot take.
I think this is the hottest of all the takes.
I'm buying in on it.
Yeah, 100%.
When a challenge is thrown down, I bring it, boys. I'm not backing down.
It's in the range of plausibility, but I'm angry enough that you said it out loud. So that should mean the comment section should love this shit.
Let us know down in the comments below who is the hottest take. For
once, I might not get the most hate on a video.
I don't think you're gonna get the most hate.
No.
I think I'm gonna get the most hate because I attacked the
I
Lakers.
think Sean will.
It's gonna happen. I think attacking the Lakers is just a death wish, and that's what's probably gonna. And I attacked LeBron and Laker fans, which are now a thing, which is that's not a good.
United them together.
Let's have a little chat before we end this and go on to the 6-minute rankings. Can I say that I think that although it was a hot take, I backed it up at least. I don't think I was spewing nonsense.
100%.
I mean, I think I don't remember the exact quote from Family Guy and Peter Griffin, but it goes along the lines of I disagree with your argument, but I will fight to the death that you have the right to say it.
Thank you. And I think that, again, although I'm going to get, if I'm getting hate for not knowing basketball, at least I threw out an argument.
Yep.
I don't understand that that whole thing you don't know basketball, you don't know what you're talking about just because you throw out a hot take. That's the point of this segment. Do you even watch, bro?
Do you watch, bro? Do you watch Denver basketball?
I tried to defend it.
I said, where's your Nuggets hat?
I lost it.
Oh, that's a dope hat.
Yeah, it's a cool hat. I'll try to find it. There was something else I was going to bring up, but it escapes my memory. Jake, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I was just gonna say something about do I even watch? I sent you the comment from the last time I was on, and people were calling me idiots saying I didn't watch. And then whenever I apparently commented that TLC had potential, I was wrong. I was wrong, but I don't watch.
How dare you think a first-round pick has potential?
A first-round pick in his second year has potential. Oh my God, what a terrible person I am.
That's a hot take there. Did the segment live up to your hype though?
Yeah, that was fun.
Glad. And then that's it.
Thanks for having me on.
We've done our job.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have fun here. If you want to have fun, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. You can have fun with me and Dave and Ricky. And me, Dave, and Ricky. I think I messed that up. Anyways, you can always have fun with us, whether it's Z talking about the Suns, whether it's Jake talking about the us disrespecting the 76ers. You check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. We definitely have to do something fun for next month when Jake is on for his year-anniversary, or year birthday of being a patron. Jake, thank you so much. We appreciate the fun topic.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, guys.
Have a good one, bud.
You.